Hello and welcome to the Road End podcast, where each week we will speak to a new guest, get to know them, and talk all things Liverpool.
Hi everyone, I'm delighted to say today I'm joined by Roopa Vyas. Roopa is a HerGameToo ambassador and she's a huge LFC fan as well as an ambassador for the club. Thanks for joining us today. How are you?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Oh, no one ever asked me that. Yeah, all good. All good. I'm waiting for this window to shut just so it stops, so people stop going on, to be honest.
Yeah, I hate transfer windows. The bane of my life.
Midfield crisis, apparently, but you know. So tell us a bit about yourself then. Your involvement with football. What have you done over the past few years that's got you to where you are today?
So yeah, I've been into football since I was a kid, played it in school, preferred watching it, to be honest. I was probably better at watching it than playing.
Position?
Midfield. I thought I was like female Steven Gerrard.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not quite. Didn't quite make it, because of my knees, stuff like that. I actually did dislocate my knees though. It's not one of those excuses.
I was going to say the amount of people that say the knees.
Yeah, I know. And then so before I was in uni, I got into blogging for a fan site and just went from there really. I've been doing stuff like that since. Then I've got into like podcasts. I started going on things like Redman TV. I was just really good at like telling people about what I do, especially while I was at uni. Every night out, it's like, oh yeah, I write for this blog. And like that's just how it blew up, and I just like talking about football really. And then I've done radio since. I've done BBC News, and now I'm here on Road End Pod, so I've made it.
Smashed it. I've seen you on a couple of little clips on certain shows. I can't remember the names particularly, but I listened to you on the Asian network. That was brilliant. I can't remember what you was arguing about. Yeah,
it was the Man City fan.
Was it?
Yeah, that was my debut, and it was the highlight so far.
That was your debut?
I was on, yeah.
You absolutely made a show of him on your debut. I felt sorry for him.
Yeah, I know. I felt a bit bad after. I was on with a United fan. I kind of like eased into that one. I didn't go as hard on that one.
No, was it just your debut? You wanted to make a
yeah.
statement?
Well, yeah, I had more to go with. Now, at the moment, with Liverpool's performance, I don't really have a leg to stand on.
No,
I can't really say what I said back then.
No, true. That is true. As well as that, so you've been on the Asian network. I listened to that. What was the one you was talking about? The signs. I heard you saying stop bringing signs in.
No ratings podcast with Rambo. Yes, I said that we need to ban people from bringing in signs asking for shirts at a football match.
So my first, I'm going to go in here. My lad's first game, I took him. The only way I could get him there was to do something that would get him involved. So the idea of it was, let's see what we can come up with. What will he enjoy, or what will make him want to stick around? Because kids are like, they don't keep still. A sign.
Get him a fidget spinner. Get him something else.
Got every fidget in the world. Everything that a kid could want. And I said, right, what we'll do, because we were on like row 2, Lower Annie Road. So we'll do a sign, and he loves, like, adores Alison. I said, we'll just see what happens. We'll take it with us. And he got the shirt.
Oh. Okay, yeah. See, so part of me is jealous.
Yeah.
Because I can't do that anymore.
It'd be a bit weird, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, I've tried. I tried with Nico Williams. I had a sign on my phone.
Yeah.
I put it on my phone, like, can I have a shirt? And he just like looked over and didn't come over. So,
when he got it, the agreement after it was, that won't happen again. So we're not taking any more. You've got your shirt. Yeah. But Dad, I love Harvey. Yeah, but mate, no. This is
just go around the whole team.
Yeah. You've got a shirt. Count yourself lucky. So yeah, I heard you roasting that.
You were doing it for him. A lot of the times there are parents. I mean, I would probably have done the same. If I had a kid, use my kid to get Van Dijk's shirt. It's the only way. He's not going to give it to me. Well, yeah, he's not going to give it to me, is he? So
that's true.
But I think it's the idea behind it. Like, I get you had like a genuine reason, but people go and that's the only reason.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, the parents just want to like flog it for some money.
The likes of the training grounds, I live literally a road away from the training ground. And they've got signs up now on the training ground to say the players and coaches can't stop because people are just running in front of it. You've got fellas and women with shirts getting them signed, and then they're on eBay. I understand it, to be honest with you, but
yeah, I got given a gift. It was my favorite player at the time, and I don't even want to say his name on here.
Go on.
But it says like to Roopa as well, so I can't give it to anyone. It's curious.
You
Yeah,
just
it was
swore on my
before all that.
podcast.
It was when everyone was like, "Oh, he's he's our number one," blah blah blah, and I backed him. I backed him from the beginning. He
Yeah,
was doing well at the
he
time,
was.
and I
Yeah.
got gifted that shirt. I got it framed. It is still in the wrapping. I haven't even taken it out since it got framed. I don't even want to touch it, but I can't get rid of it.
If you touch it, you might drop it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I kind of want to like make use of the frame because it's a waste of the frame. So I need Virgil to, give me a shirt or sign it and send it my way. And
I
then
have seen you plugging a little bit with Virgil on Twitter. I'm not gonna lie.
I've stopped lately. I've given up.
So
I'll
if you're
start
listening,
again
Virg,
when the World Cup's on.
yeah. So, all right. Well, let's get into the hair game too. One of my main reasons to get you on was to get a little bit more understanding about that because everything about it, what it stands for, sounds to me that it's about making sure women, in particular, or young girls, feel comfortable in a football ground or in a football environment. So, tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so it started last May. There's about 12 girls who got together, well, ladies got together and, started this campaign because sadly there is a need for it. Sexism is not like widely spoken of, like compared to other forms of discrimination. So in the footballing world, whether it's like in the stands, on the pitch, like it still exists. So yeah, they got together. It's taken the world by storm, to be honest. Like it's kicked off massively and it's just under 2 years old now.
Wow.
And there's been so much done. There's ambassadors for most clubs from like non-league all the way up to Premier League.
But I suppose level doesn't matter, does it? The message
No,
is
exactly.
everybody.
The message is the exact same. It's more just obviously what happened. So we've got a few Premier League clubs done like dedicated match days and stuff, but that's it. Whereas obviously the lower league teams, they do so much to promote the campaign. At the end of the day, it's all about awareness and just talking about it. So with Liverpool, we haven't got an official partnership, but there is stuff going on behind the scenes, which most people probably aren't aware of. I speak to them regularly. They take my feedback on board. Anything I see like on social media or something comes directly to me, I take it straight to them. And yeah, like they're really keen on putting the message out there, but it's just about how to do it.
Yeah.
It's quite difficult. And especially for a Premier League team, of our size, they've got to think about the fan base, not just the one in the stadium, like around the world. How are they going to spread the message without it being like fake or like just like a PR stunt? So it's quite difficult.
That does happen a lot, doesn't it? Some of the stuff they do release looks like it's more just for doing it than actually meaning it.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
They have to hit the nail on the head with this, don't they? Because it's such a big thing at the minute.
Yeah, they are doing things to address sexism. It's more just about working towards like educating people. So even like within the club, staff need educating, and then they'll move on to like stewards, and we'll start addressing it. It's more because people don't know how to address it. I mean, if you see someone being sexist, would you necessarily call them out? Whereas like when someone's being racist, you know when to call them out.
Yeah.
Whereas like with sexism, it feels like there's a blurred line. Certain things are brushed off as banter most of the time.
I was just thinking that because that's a big word nowadays, isn't it? Banter.
Everything's
people
banter.
Just seem to think it's banter for everything, and I completely understand whether it's racism, whether it's sexism, regardless of what it is. There's a line that you shouldn't even be near, never mind cross.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the thing with sexism. Like, it's still very much a male area. It's a male-dominated game.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're promoting like women's football and stuff, but also before women's football was as big as it is now. I mean, it was bigger than men's football before the ban back in, I don't know when it was now. But yeah, like, I grew up watching men's football, so I didn't watch women's football. I didn't have exposure to it.
Yeah.
Probably didn't exist as much as it does now. Yeah, it's just providing that support and just making sure women know that it's a safe space. They have someone that they can speak to about it, and their concerns will be addressed.
Okay, so in terms of the role itself, obviously you mentioned you've got an ambassador at a club. Is this a case of if this does happen to someone, unfortunately, in the ground, they then reach out, or do they go to someone in the club and they point them in that direction?
Yeah, so they can come to an ambassador, they can report through the HerGameToo website. It's whatever they want to do. It depends if they want to be anonymous about it or not. If it's anonymous, they'll still be raised with the club, but if they want it to be dealt with and they want to know the outcome, then obviously they need to tell us who they are.
And that's the message, isn't it? Because I think what people tend to think is nowadays that they can't be, let's say, inverted brackets, a grass. That's not what you want, is it? It's
Yeah.
you want a solution. You don't want. It's not about snitching. It's about sorting the issue.
Exactly, yeah. I think with football, the culture is, I mean, I've experienced it myself with my own mates. Like, there's things said, and even if people know that it's wrong, no one says anything. And that's what we're trying to encourage. Like, if people, we've got a lot of guys who support the message that we're trying to spread. And I think that's the most important thing as well. Just it applies to everyone. It's not just for women. So anyone can get involved. We've got guys on board as well, like as advocates and stuff. So
That's
it's
I think
just about
that
working
does need to happen.
together.
Yeah, it does need to happen because I mean, if you see a woman, lady, girl side of things in terms of the hair game, then if you don't include men in that, then how are you ever going to sort of spread that to men?
I think it's the best way to spread the message as well. Like, guys will tell their mates, don't say that, it's wrong. Just little things like that. It'll start from that. And I think that's what we're trying to spread. Like, eventually, we don't have like official training, but it's more just about educating everyone. So we will educate like stewards. The clubs are very open. Most of them are open to, incorporating it into what they're doing already. I know the Premier League have got their new anti-discrimination campaign.
Yeah.
It's more just about highlighting that sexism does come under that, because a lot of people just think, oh, discrimination, that's racism or homophobia or transphobia. That's it. But sexism is a huge part of that.
Yeah. And even more so, I mean, I say even more so, but it shouldn't be the case. But the way I would say women's football's exploded since the Euros, it's been unbelievable. Like, I'll be honest with you, never really watched it. Never really watch women's football, and what I call football now, I wouldn't even call it women's football.
So I think having the Euros, on primetime television, it was accessible to everyone. It was on like BBC, ITV. Everyone could watch it, and then they could see that it is possible. I recently went to a local girls team, biggest club in Wales. They've got about 200 girls playing for them. And the girls, some of them are quite young, so they're not into watching football, just playing. But a lot of them watch, and they were just so inspired by, like, I know it was England and with Welsh, but just seeing it, because when you see it, you can be it. Like, that's why I called myself the female Steven Gerrard, because I didn't have a female player to look up to.
Yeah.
It's hard. Like, I used to be that girl playing with the boys, and it shouldn't have been that way.
No. If I go back for 10, 15 years when I'm a teenager, I'm looking back now and I'm thinking there was one girl, maybe primary to up until seniors, that played football, and she even stopped when she got to like 14, and she had to be a girl.
I think that's the age that girls stop. So there's one team that I'm working with, and they've got girls from like 11 to 13, and that's quite a sensitive age. Girls are developing, growing up, and that is the age that they drop out. But one of the main reasons they drop out is because they're worried about what the boys are saying, and the boys are not being supportive and things like that. So when we partnered up with them, it was amazing to see the first team, the men's first team, who most of them I went to school with, and I never thought they'd be on board with this. So like giving me ideas to like promote it as well. I thought I was just partnering with the 11 to 13s, but they want to get on board, and that's great. I think that's what we need to see happening.
I can't imagine going back my teenage years and a lad or a boy being with a girl who plays football just because of how things used to be. But I think changing that now, it's totally different. Now, I can't think of anything better than going in my garden and having a 50-50 with someone.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter who you are or what you are.
It's good that it's changed like that. It shouldn't matter at all. Like, everyone can enjoy it. I don't know what I'd be doing on a weekend if I didn't like football, genuinely. It baffles me when I meet, like, even like other girls, and I'm like, what do you do on the weekends if you don't like football? Like, if you don't have any sports in your life, like, I genuinely don't know what I do. Like, but what do I talk about? That's my icebreaker. Like, football's my icebreaker. That's how I make friends.
Mine's the same. When I meet new people, or if I meet people at work and they don't like football, I'm a bit like, what do I even say?
What do I talk about? You talk about the weather or something.
It's a bit awkward. But I suppose. But I like the message that's coming out from this. And I think it's important that people do look into it and understand it, because it's only going to get bigger. It's only going to get better. The more exposure, the more money. I think women's football is only going to get better and better, and especially with I've seen the likes of the equal pay and things like that. That's always going to come into conversation. But again, the more people watch it, then I suppose that's how it's going to happen.
Yeah, people are saying that they're not on the same level as like the male players, but it's because the male game, like the men's football is on every channel, like, and people pay to watch it. Whereas this, even if it's on a free channel, like sometimes it's on like Red Button or something. It's not accessible to everyone, or maybe it's not on TV and you have to subscribe online and things like that. Like people just won't do it. If it's there right in front of you, why would you say no?
Completely agree. Again, as much as we'll talk about Liverpool, which is pretty much the be all and end all of this, it's important to know it's important to know the other side of things about people and what they're doing and why they're doing it. In terms of Liverpool, talk to me about last night's result with Newcastle.
So I actually missed most of the first half because I was out. It was my dad's birthday.
Lucky you.
Yeah. I mean, you got a nice present in the end, so I'm kind of glad I missed it. I was in the car home. My brother supports United, so I was just very quiet. I was talking about other results and stuff, and I just didn't mention it. And when we came home, like after he got out of the car and he realised, he's like, "Oh, I'll put the game on." I really didn't want to watch. Like genuinely, I was like, I can't watch this. We did, and like obviously, you know, we got the equaliser and stuff. Great. But I couldn't see a goal coming at all. No. And Newcastle, time wasting, it's infuriating. Like, it's bad enough watching Liverpool play like this, and then you've got that to deal with.
I just think the backlash of it.
Carvalho.
Yeah, well, thank God for Carvalho. I agreed.
Yeah.
But I think the backlash of, I'm seeing two sides of the story. So I'm seeing obviously the time wasting. But then I'm seeing people say that minute shouldn't have been existent in that match. But if you look over the 90 minutes or 98, whatever it was, I'd even say that more of that should have been played. It was that slow. Yeah. It wasn't a football match. But I totally understand why Newcastle done it. You know, if you come to Anfield and you open yourselves up, what do people expect?
I mean, with that as well, I think it's the inconsistency. So if we've seen it in other games and you don't see that extra time added on.
Yeah.
And then, so people are saying as well, like, oh, the time wasting was included in the added time. But the time wasting came during the added time. Yeah. So that needs to be added. And also, like, I agree. Like if someone scores, for example, and they massive celebration, you add on like a minute.
Yeah.
And we've had situations where the whistle's gone when we're on the attack and it's not even time.
I'm thinking, you know, it's going to go for you 1 week. It's not going to go for you the next week. Last week, Rashford was offside, in my opinion. They give it. Yeah. This week, we got the extra, you know, we got the little rub of the green, which was nice and which we needed.
Yeah, I think that's the issue with our league, though. Like, there's a lot of inconsistencies with things like this.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, we have VAR, but even VAR is inconsistent. Sometimes they're going to look at things and then question it. And then sometimes they'll give it and then they won't. And it's just that, like, the rules are there, but then they can still be interpreted differently. So, like, surely the rules need to be looked at. So it's like, there's a right or wrong and that's it.
I just think because they keep changing them, people just can't keep up. Now, I don't know whether that's a lack of training. I don't know whether that's just a lack of indecisive. Like, people don't want to make that decision, but it needs sorting out because, again, it's going to be a week when we're 1-1 and we end up getting beat 2-1. You know, it can happen. But
but do they think that decisions like that and like having the inconsistencies just makes people talk about it and look at it more?
Possibly.
Like they're getting more exposure then. I don't know. Possibly. Maybe that's what I don't know if they need that. But people are saying, like, I've seen theories like that. Like, oh, they just want everyone like talking about it. But like everyone's talking about it. The next day, everyone's going to talk about it regardless.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to keep us on our toes. You know, you just don't know what you're going to get, basically.
Well, the stat, what's come out in terms of, I know you don't like talking about stats. I'm not a massive fan of stats. But when I've seen something recently with, I think it was Brentford and Fulham, the ball was in the game for 45 minutes over the 90 because of time wasting, because of slowing it down, because of fouls, all this and that. Then, you know, surely they've got to do something about it because, you know, the game's getting more expensive every week. No one wants to be paying 70, 80 quid seeing a half of football.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
yeah,
I mean, something they've got to look at, isn't it?
It's just how do they address it though? Like, do they do what they did here and add on that time on top of the added time?
Yeah.
But people need to know that that's going to happen. I mean, the players need to know that because then they'll stop doing it.
Yeah.
But then, or is this just added time? But the added time is there will be a minimum of 5 minutes say that or whatever it is. So it says a minimum because obviously it depends on what happens during that time.
Yeah.
So
exactly,
I don't know. Maybe people just don't know the rules. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we need to get better at them. Okay. So being from South Wales, Caerphilly, don't want to pinpoint you too much. What's the connection with Liverpool? How did it come about?
My dad. So, well, he's not from here, but he's lived in Philly most of his life. But yeah, he supports Liverpool.
All right,
I
okay.
think he started watching them back when we were amazing in like 70s, 80s. And yeah, we've got family up in Liverpool, so
Oh, nice,
on my
okay.
dad's side. So yeah, that's how it came about. I followed in his footsteps, whereas my brother did the opposite
How did
and
that come
became the
about?
enemy. He just went with my uncle, so my uncle and him
Hmm.
United, and now my cousins, and then
But
me and my
was that
dad
when they were good?
Liverpool.
So
Yeah,
he's a
obviously
glory
it
hunter.
wasn't. Yeah, it was when I was suffering as a child, and they were loving life. And then the last few years, it's been the other way around.
Yeah.
And now this season, I'm a bit worried. I've been gloating a bit too much, and because social media is about and stuff, so everyone
Yeah.
can go back and find out what you said and things like that. So
But the best thing
I'm a little
about
bit
gloating
worried.
about it is we've actually had that time to actually gloat
Yeah,
because we never, and now we
exactly.
have.
Yeah,
So that's the thing about the when you look at the team now and you criticize, well, not criticize them, but you just expect more. I know
yeah,
that there's a couple of players in there that have been there for years on end. That Jurgen Klopp way of playing will have an effect on you sometime, which is why it's so
yeah,
frustrating. They're not
absolutely.
investing as much as we want them to. Maybe in the squad,
Yeah,
it
it is
balances
what
the
it is.
books.
I
We're still
mean,
challenging.
that's the thing. We've been so lucky the last few
Yeah,
seasons. Like when I talk about it and like look back, I'm like, okay, yeah, we've been really lucky. But then in the heat of the moment, and when you watch them, it's just so frustrating because it's not like what we've been watching the last few
no, it's
seasons.
not.
We've been spoilt though.
We
That's the
have.
thing.
That's it.
Like, yeah, like
That's the
we've been
message
so
I get
lucky to
from.
watch that.
That's how I feel about Man United. This whole
Yeah.
Glazer Norwich scarves thing. Um, the reason that annoys me so much is because it feels sort of like spoiled kids.
Mm,
I know they're taking money out of the club. I
yeah.
completely understand the frustration with that side of things. They're also putting big money into it. Massive spending every year. Um,
Hmm.
and it frustrates
Yeah,
me
at least
because I
they
think
actually spend. I
I'd like
mean,
us to
on
go
our
out and buy
side,
someone for this much, but again, I'd like
yeah,
us to be a business as well as
yeah,
it because,
I know.
they're millions of pounds debt. We're not. We still need to get off the edge of our seat.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's a bit frustrating. I mean, it has paid off in the past where we've
Yeah.
waited for
Hmm.
the right players. It's just when you see everyone else like strengthen. I mean, Man City, they take Haaland off and then they bring De Bruyne on.
I know. How do you
It's
cope with
just
that?
not fair. Like that team is just a fluke. I know it's oil money and stuff, but I just want to be close to that level.
Same. Same.
Like,
And the demands on the players' legs and mentally,
yeah.
they must think the same. They must
Hmm.
think there's just surely got to be some of them who think, you know what, if we just had a little bit more money and we got a few more players in, I wouldn't have to run as much.
Yeah, probably.
So expectations, first, second,
Not
third,
this
fourth.
season,
Yeah.
just first or second. So I said this, I did a podcast before the season started and I had a gut feeling
Hmm.
and I said third at a push. And now I
Ooh,
think that I'm right. I genuinely feel like I'm right. I mean, Arsenal look like they're going to be in a title race with
yeah.
City.
Yeah.
Like they look so much stronger now. And I don't think we're anywhere. I mean, I know it's the start of the season. Not getting off to the greatest start is not going to help us. We need that
No.
momentum and we're going to have a gap in the winter. Players are going to go to the World Cup and they're going to be out for a while or whatever. Hopefully, no injuries. I said third at a push. Then the following week, I changed my mind because I went to the Community Shield and I saw us beat City and I was like, oh my God, like this is it. We're going to do it again.
Yeah.
And then I saw the actual Liverpool come out to play. Like I thought yesterday after the 9-0, I mean,
Mm.
I didn't want to think it was a fluke, but then yesterday I realized that that was just a fluke. We're not going to see anything like that again.
No.
I know it
They're
was
one of them
Bournemouth,
games
but
that happen
yeah.
every so often.
But
I
we need
felt
to be
like,
doing that. I mean, City
yeah,
battered
yeah,
team 6-0
agreed.
like it's nothing. Haaland first half hat trick, and
It's
then we're
ridiculous,
there
isn't it?
just scraping a win against Newcastle.
Them numbers he's pulling out already is terrifying.
I'm actually scared. And then Salah, he's just
He's having a
he's
moment,
not
isn't he?
with it.
No.
Yeah.
But I think the thing is, as long as our blips happening or happened, let's hope at the start, then hopefully the consistency can come because Arsenal won't be around forever.
Mm.
I hope.
I know, I hope, but that's the thing. I have a feeling that they will.
We'll come back to
I
this.
just, oh no.
We'll come back to this at the end of the season. So
Well, I don't want to say I was right, but also I don't
ooh,
know. I mean, I had a gut feeling. Now it's just come back. Like I feel the same.
yeah,
I worry every game. Like before, I used to worry, but it was like just because it's a football match and it's football and it's the way it is. But I was like, I know we're going to win. It's just
yeah.
how we're going to win.
I think we spoke
Whereas with
about this, didn't
this,
we?
it's like, yeah,
You
with
said,
this, I
"How am I
just
so
don't.
confident?"
Yeah.
I think it was
I
just
just
more
don't
hoping.
understand it. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I get it at the time though. Before the match, or before the Man United game in work, I was like, I'm so nervous. Right at the end of the day, I said to my mate, I was like, 6-0, we're battering them. And I just don't know what came over me in that moment. And then before the game, obviously, I was like, nah, it's not happening.
it felt weird. I think
Yeah.
when it kicked off, I was thinking, these want this.
Yeah.
And this doesn't bode well, because when they're behind them and once the players look like they actually care and believe,
Yeah.
they're a tough side. And that's the reality, but it's just that they don't do it every week. So, you know, the Norwich Scarves will be out soon.
We asked our guests to choose their ultimate five-a-side team who they've seen live playing for Liverpool. Let's find out what they said.
Oh, Salah's got to be in there.
Yeah.
Even though he's not with it at the moment, he's one of the best.
He's Salah, isn't
Yeah. I don't want to say his name, but Torres is in there. Definitely. He's got to be the little heartbreaker.
he? Exactly. My
Um,
childhood sweetheart until
yeah.
he done that.
Steven Gerrard, obviously, my idol. He's the reason I fell in love with football.
Yeah.
Who do I put in goals? That's the question.
Is this a debate?
Do you not think it is? I don't know. I'm a bit torn. I'd probably say Reina though. I really liked Reina at the time.
When he had them couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
agree.
But I'd have him then. Like obviously a little bit off after. But I've got one more, haven't I? Alonso.
No defenders.
It's got to be Gerrard with Alonso. No, forget it.
No
Gerrard
defenders, just going for it. Love it.
Yeah, just go for it. All out attack in there. Got Reina in the back. It's fine.
It's
He can come out as well. Rush goalie.
Yeah, he's a bit of a sweet keeper, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's good though, that, because a couple of people I ask so far, it's been quite different, and they've always put Virgil in there. I get why.
I would put Virgil in, but lately I'm just in a mood with him, so I'm not even going to bother mentioning his name. He's letting me down.
No, I know. It's as soon as he starts pressing them instead of running backwards, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Let's go with that. Okay. I won't keep you much longer. It's been great to have you on. It's been
thanks for
really
having me.
good to get an understanding of the HerGameToo, because, like I said, that was the biggest message from this that I wanted, so people understood, you know, what it was about. I'd say more, how do I explain it? My perception of it, like I said, was just, you know, you want women involved with the game, you want girls involved with the game, but the bigger picture means more. So I think people need to understand that, and hopefully from this they do. Yeah,
it's all about educating people.
Yeah.
If you don't understand, if you don't know, like, it's better to find out than to obviously say the wrong things and offend people. Like,
definitely.
No one should feel uncomfortable at the match, like, no matter what. So
agreed. Massive message for this pod. No one should feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Even if you got it a sign. No, that's all good.
Yeah, they shouldn't feel uncomfortable, even if they've gone all out with a sign. They should just be banned from the match altogether.
This is the highlight, and I'm going to put that on. Right. Thanks very much. Hopefully we'll catch you at the end of the season, and we'll be talking about the title parade.
I hope so.
All right. Catch you soon.